What's up guys, my name is NUCtheWHALEmann and welcome to my channel. This is the first video I've ever made, so I hope you like it. I've been a Battlefield fan ever since Bad Company 1 got released on the 360, and to this day I still fly jets in normal and the competitive world. For this reason I decided to make a YouTube channel, to help the everyday gamer. Seeing what Battlefield 4 looks like, it can be said with high precision that it's not going to be much different from Battlefield 3 in terms of gameplay mechanics, in particular the jets. So I hope you enjoy this video and I wish that you learned much from it. There'll be many more videos coming out regarding jets and many other aspects of this game. Keep your eyes open for new content from me and I'll see you on the Battlefield brewskis. One of the most crucial aspects of dogfighting is speed control. Speed control assures that you can maintain full maneuverability during a dogfight. Being able to manage your speed will allow you to have tighter switches, faster reactions, and better angles on your opponent. During a dogfight, a jet can move along 3 types of axes: vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. Each axis requires a separate pattern to maintain the perfect speed. Knowing each pattern and being able to transition between them will give you the upper hand that you need in a dogfight, offering you an array of complex maneuvers that will make you less predictable and more challenging to follow. Learning speed needs to be taken from a certain approach. Many tutorials start you off with first person speed control and then move you on to third person. I see that as misleading and a waste of time, as during a dogfight you want to remain in third person. Third person offers a greater field of view on your enemies and also makes certain maneuvers such as scissors easier to pull off. Yet this brings a challenge as you can't monitor your speed in third person. The easiest and best way to overcome this is by imagining a circle on your screen. This circle covers the furthest points that the jet can reach. Maintaining your jet on the circle during a dogfight will assure that you're hitting the optimal speed of 308 to 314. During switches and other maneuvers, your jet will leave the circle, but it will jump back on it as soon as the perfect speed is maintained. The last thing that needs to be mentioned is that the circle will have to be positioned using the HUD settings described in the previous part. Use the bottom of the letters on the top of the screen, the radar on the left, the help bar on the right, and the depth to which the jet sinks into the screen during a vertical loop to draw this imaginary circle. As mentioned previously, the dogfight can place you along 3 types of axes: the vertical, the horizontal, and the combination of the two, the diagonal. The vertical loop can be broken up into 3 different parts: the braking, the free flow, and the afterburning. I'll begin by showing the loop with pauses, explaining each part of the loop. Then you'll see the loop in full, and then I'll show you a video of me using my controller to do the loop alongside the main video. Beginning the loop from the top, we start off with part 1, the braking. Braking begins when the jet is just coming over the top of the loop and is starting to touch the circle with its afterburners. In the same instant, you want to tap the brake twice and hit it the 3rd time, holding it in position until the free flow region. Tap tap hold. This is the type of timing that you need to maintain the jet on the circle. This is when part 2 begins, the free flow. Watch out for when the camera switches from top view to the back view of the jet. From that moment, count 1 second in your head and let go of the brake, allowing the jet to free flow. Part 3 begins here, the afterburning. The afterburning is applied on the way up due to gravity slowing down the jet and taking it out of the 308 to 314 region. Therefore, afterburners need to be used carefully to balance out the force of gravity. Too much and you will exceed the perfect speed. Too less and you will counter the gravity insufficiently. Timing is key. There are 3 afterburners that you need to use at the right time. First, when the jet hits the horizon line. Second, when the jet is 90 degrees to the sky. And third, when the camera switches from the back view to the top view of the jet. Each afterburner needs to be about half a second long and placed exactly where shown in the video. Now double tap the brake twice and hold it. Hold it all throughout this region until the camera switch. 1 second and let go of the brake. Get ready to afterburn once, twice, 3 times. Horizontal loops have much significance in dogfighting. In my personal experience, I found that they're very useful for switches, or in moments when you need to keep your enemy in a stalemate for a short period of time while you recover your health. It's funny looking back in the days when the game first came out. A lot of dogfighting just consisted of people doing horizontal loops, hoping that the man behind them will lose their speed. But these days, sticking to that strategy will get you killed, since it's so easy just to cut a horizontal loop. Therefore, when I say short period of time, I mean it. Horizontal loops can't be the whole strategy, it can just be a transition between them. So let's begin. Horizontal loops are very simple to learn, and for such reasons should be mastered without any issues. Controlling the speed during a horizontal loop consists of just a periodic tap of the brake. The best way to describe the timing for the braking is by seeing it done on my controller. When the time came that all pilots started to master the vertical and the horizontal loop, dogfights began to last much longer, and started to bore people out due to their simplicity. Pilots didn't switch, didn't cut, didn't outmaneuver. The dogfight was just a circle with two jets on the opposite ends. It was like a dog chasing its own tail, both the head and the tail pulling the perfect loop. Pilots began to seek a way to counter the dogfighters that just remained in the perfect loop, a way to gain instant angles on your opponent without following his exact loop. Hence the diagonal loop came to be. It was a combination of the vertical and the horizontal loop. The diagonal allowed the jet to maintain itself on both the vertical and the horizontal axis. It gave you the ability to pull a vertical loop while going horizontal at the same time, and vice versa. This opened people's eyes. They realized that it's not necessary to follow your opponent loop for loop to gain a kill. Instead, it's much faster to get your jet cannon to cross the enemy loop, cutting across it until a disable is secured. Diagonal loops are very important, and managing your speed perfectly during them will give you a great advantage in a dogfight. So moving on, learning the braking and the afterburning for a diagonal needs to be done using the circle. It can be noticed that the jet, while in the diagonal, is sliding up and down one side of the circle. The jet will slide further up and down the circle depending on how steep the diagonal is. Attention needs to be paid to two factors, the furthest upward point and the furthest downward point. Having recognized those points, mapping the braking and the afterburning is easy. Beginning with the braking, you want to double tap the brake and hold as soon as the jet begins to leave the furthest upward point. Hold it until you reach the furthest downward point and let go. Now afterburners will have to kick in to balance the force of gravity. Apply the first afterburner as soon as the jet begins to leave the furthest downward point. Second, when it's halfway up. And third, when the furthest upward point is just reached. I hope you enjoyed that. Be expecting more tutorials soon on concepts such as yawing and cutting and much more. Thank you.